the tiebreaker, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's go take a look at the decks then. We'll cut away from that replay. Figured you guys would enjoy watching that again instead of listening to just music and stuff like that. But here we go. 9 STS, Dual Hunchback, 2 Cs, Ballistic variants, Summoner, 2 Summoners actually, 2 Dire Wolves, and 2 Arctic Cheetahs. This is kind of blowing my mind a little bit here.
What are they doing?
What is going on? They've got something up their sleeves, and I can't wait to see what it is. A little bit more of a common deck on the BSMC side. Dual Warhammer Black Widows, 2 Kodiak 3s, and 2 Enforcer 5Ps. That's an interesting choice. Is that a Ballistic Enforcer?
The 5, I think
don't
is that
remember.
the UAC 5 build?
Possibly. And then Jenner 2C and an Energy Jenner 2CA. This is looking Team 2, DACA push Alpha to Alpha. That's what I'm seeing. Let's do it. Let's see it. There's going to be a firefight. Those Dire Wolves are not sitting in Alpha Lance right now, so I don't think they're setting up to receive this DACA push. I want to see where 9STS is setting themselves up here. I think a lot of teams have been DACA pushing Alpha to Alpha, and I think 9STS knows that. The question is, how are they going to receive this? Let's take a look.
I just want to know what they're bringing on these mechs. I mean, this is so old school.
Those Summoners right up in front with 3 Ultra AC2s. Hunchbacks with Ultra AC2s. So it is DACA to DACA, but not with their heaviest mechs. What are those Direwolves bringing?
This is like clan
Ultra
release drop
AC2s.
decks.
What? I can't. This is blowing my mind. I can't wait to see what this is. They're pulling out of Alpha spawn, moving into the backfield. So Ultra AC2s all over the place for 9STS.
You know, 9SDS does do some crazy drop deck things.
Why is Black Spikes not moving? Is this
they've got guys moving up to join
Okay.
Echo 4.
Alpha Lance has
Looks like they want to move as a single body here.
Okay, yep.
And
I was a
there they
little
go.
worried there was a disconnect, but that looks like that was just intentional and very regimental. An entire lance
I'm
not moving even an inch, but here they go. Alpha to Alpha,
I
but
think they're shocked not to be taking fire at
I
this
agree.
point.
This is.
I would have to be. Do they know where the enemy is?
Here comes some of those initial hits. That 5P breaking for Epsilon, getting hit. Mostly spread down to 92% though. That's pretty solid for such a long range.
I mean, I guess they know now. Look at 9th SDS, like, just fanning out in a line here around.
They've got a Direwolf up top. Oh, he just fell down.
Oh
Never
my
mind.
gosh.
He's actually fallen down and kind of in the open, so that I don't know if that was intentional or what.
I don't think that was intentional. He looks like he's booking
He's
it
like,
now.
oh crap. But Black Spikes has now taken stage. Now the problem with stage from this angle is every time they peek, they're silhouetting themselves in these little openings, and 9STS has a fantastic vision for each of these. Now here's in my opinion, the fatal flaw with this strat for 9STS. They've backed themselves into a corner. They hold one control point, and it looks like Black Spikes is going to take advantage of that, sending their lights off to Kappa. So I don't know if Black Spikes is even going to bother trading. They have this forward position. They have Theta. They have Epsilon. It's going to be on 9STS to move.
Yeah, and I wonder if Black Spikes realizes that right now they haven't done a single point of damage, and they've taken a decent amount of damage in return. They're absolutely doing the right thing, going the cap game. And if I were them, I'd send one light, just one, back to Sigma. Get that 4 cap and really put the pressure on.
9STS is already on the move, though. They are shifting their movement towards Epsilon. I'd be excited to see what these UAC2s can do in closer range. I wonder if they're going to give them that opportunity.
Yeah, and does Black Spikes have eyes on them?
I don't think so. I don't think any of them are peeking at all. They've sent
the
their
first
lights off
one
to
to
Kappa.
see is going to be this Enforcer. Down here in the corner here, what's this Enforcer doing? He's coming back up.
Yeah, he's going to get vision now.
He just got vision, yeah, absolutely. When you start taking fire, that makes it pretty obvious.
So that other Enforcer is now looking up at, I think I called that rafters. He's looking up at rafters, not seeing anything. He's calling that out to his team. Nobody's there. That's shocking. So Black Spikes now has to try and identify which direction 9STS is moving, and they're still on the move with those Direwolves in tow. That's crazy. But they're getting new angles
I wonder
now.
if Black Spike, maybe 9SCS's strategy here is just to confuse the heck out of them. I mean, very, very reactive play right now by Black Spikes.
Now, they took
Very
Epsilon,
reactive.
and the lights never went out to Sigma, but we're actually seeing a reverse to the cap strat. The Arctic Cheetah is now crossing to Sigma now that
Yeah, I wonder if they're
9STS
going
is
to go grab
pulled.
Sigma.
But now we've got a move by Black Spikes actually coming out in force, catching the tail end of that Direwolf. He's trying his best to pull out, but he's getting hit into the back armor. But massive brawl push by Black Spikes.
I don't know if 9SDS is in the best spot to receive at this point.
They're going to have no choice at this point.
Yeah, they're going to have to be. This Direwolf's going to get left out.
Oh, boy. So that Direwolf around the left side, still near the cap point, being stalked by Black Spikes. Timing seems to be in favor of Black Spikes, but they've stalled. They've stopped.
They've
They
stalled
want to
out.
go
They need
all
to be
at
more
once.
aggressive.
They want to go all at once, but it's giving 9STS precious time to try and pull these Direwolves back into the main firing line. I think they're heading for this power position right here, but they still have a long way to go, and they're going to get
spread
shot
out
in
right
the
now
process.
by 9SDS, though.
Oh, that
Not a lot
Direwolf
of fire
Stimrock
going in
getting
return.
caught out. He's going to have to turn and start a backwards retreat, but he's going to be taking fire from many mechs here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go down before I stop stuttering. And here we go. Stimrock getting pounded by that main Black Spikes line. He goes down. The rest of them finally getting up to the position I think they wanted, but a massive amount of firepower going back and forth between the two teams. These UAC-2s, not sure if
The other Direwolf went down as well. These UAC-2s aren't getting the job done.
So Black Spike's getting up into the range they want to be with these UACs, catching Doyle out in that Summoner. He goes down, 3 down now. And like you said, I don't know if these UACs are doing the job. The jam times on them are huge. They work a lot better in poke, not necessarily face-to-face encounters. They can do a little small burst of DPS, but as soon as you start getting massive jams, it's all over. And the DPS just goes down. It tanks. The last 2 remaining, the Arctic Cheetahs, this might end up being an 8-0 decision in favor of Black Spikes for the first match. So I was very intrigued to see what 9STS was doing, but I think they were relying on Black Spikes making the mistake of straight up charging.
I honestly think they moved a little too much with the deck that they had.
They had no choice,
as we
though.
saw, that they had no choice, but I think they could have maybe tried to hold Epsilon, Gamma, and kind of stop their movement, go grab Sigma when it wasn't capped, and just kind of plant, set up to receive. By the time
setting up behind dropship here.
Yeah, the time 9th SDS, they engaged Black Spikes. Black Spikes pushed up on them, and 9th SDS they weren't set up to receive. I mean, they had maybe 2 or 3 mechs shooting at any given time.
Black Spikes definitely pushed at the right time. It's just
not going to work. Not going to work at all. They were not ready for that push.
I agree. To be perfectly honest, though, I'm not sure if they were ready for the push. Could those UAC-2s have
and that's
put out enough
thing.
DPS to make
I
a
liked
difference?
where they were when they first set up. Obviously, Black Spikes did the smart thing. They didn't push. I think if they had pushed, that might have been a completely different match.
Absolutely.
But I really feel 9th SDS got a little too antsy.
Take a look at the damages here. Oh my goodness. Stimrock getting caught out.
Yeah.
Held
out
to
of that
60. That is huge.
Part of the reason why moving, a little too much there. They give up the Kodiak, which is a very mobile, very powerful assault mech, for the Direwolf, which isn't.
Yeah, they were definitely dragging those Direwolves around. And I don't think they ever would have been really truly comfortable wherever they ended up, because BSMC was hot on their heels. From the moment they captured Epsilon, they started getting up aggressive, and it was just a very good push by Black Spikes. So 1-0 in favor of Black Spikes now. It'll be exciting to see now that 9STS can pick their side. Are they going to swap to Team 2 and try something different, or are they going to try this
They
again?
are choosing to swap to Team 2 here.
People say that this map is a bit Team 2 sided, specifically because of the ability to do that open field Daka charge. Alpha to alpha just is so big. Maybe that's what they're going to try. And this could have been, okay, Team 1 is tough. We kind of know what they're going to do to us. Let's try something unconventional to see if we can snake out a win. And that's the only thing I could think of, because this was definitely an unconventional strategy in place by 9STS. But now, losing team gets to pick their side. Maybe 9STS is getting the side that they're stronger at, and we'll have to see whether or not they take this to 3 matches. So let's catch the replay here. That's the tail end. Okay, here we go. All right, so that initial push, it was kind of funny seeing Black Spikes rushing out into the open. They definitely set up to receive a hail of fire from Alpha Lance, and when it didn't come, you can almost see just their body language a little bit like, what's
Where
happening?
are they?
Where are they? And then that finally some of those shots come in on that Enforcer who broke left to get more vision. But the initial peaks here sucked, obviously, in favor of 9STS. But it didn't take long for Black Spikes to realize they needed to stop peaking that and just start allowing for those caps to occur. And that's exactly what they did. Very well played by Black Spikes in that sense. The peak's not going to work there. So they set up in the rafters. And yeah, that's very well done. There's not much else to say about that. Black Spikes could not have played that better. Bottom line, they did everything that they needed to do to win, including their timings to get in on the backside of 9STS.
It's very disciplined, staying together, moving as a group.
That I actually was incredibly impressed by, and I keep using that word, but it was very regimental formation, moving together. It was impressive. Like, I can't get my team to do that. Good God, you think that could get my team to do that? Nope.
Nope, definitely not. Because I won't listen.
Exactly. You're the one hiding behind the rest of us. So here's 9STS deciding to pull out of that position, realizing the cap game was not in their favor, shifting to the Epsilon side, which was good. I think they had to do this. They had no choice. This gave them the opportunity to take Epsilon and then maybe sneak one to Sigma. Gamma eventually, I would think, would fall in favor of Black Spikes once they decided to send a light that way, but didn't have anything heading that way right now. I think they were expecting 9STS to potentially push into them. But this guy's seeing, okay, nobody's up in rafters anymore. They've all shifted. And I think Black Spike's using that information and that scouting to their advantage to decide to make the push out. But as we saw, one of the main reasons the Direwolves have fallen out of favor is just how slow they are. Especially after, Speed Tweak got nerfed and stuff. It's just agonizing.
Yeah, they are incredibly slow. I mean, even trying to go up a slight incline on those things is just crippling. It's not. I personally don't like the deck, and a summoner. I mean, 3 UAC 2s is not a lot of firepower in a heavy mech at all. I'm not sure. Not sure exactly, unless you have a long, drawn out engagement where you're just trading better. I'm not sure what you can get from that.
So I don't feel like 9STS was ever really happy with the position that they were in. Black Spike was now about to let them be happy. Stimrog coming up the rear with that Direwolf, just not able to get out of there in time. You can see him moving up towards the nose of the dropship there.
And it looks like both teams are back in lobby and ready to go.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look. Any big changes on the decks? 9STS...
Staying the same.
Staying the same. They must be putting a lot of stock into those UX. We'll have to see. Maybe they're banking on Black Spikes, not thinking they're going to do it, but we'll have to take a look.
And maybe they have a completely different strategy set up for this side of the map.
Maybe more like Lords did, where they set up in the backside, perhaps? Did they have the Direwolves in Alpha Lance? That's the question. If they did, that means they're charging straight into Black Spikes. They're going to just try and outshoot them. But the fatal flaw with UAC 2s is the jams. Right now, you're costing yourself a massive, I think it's 5-second jam That is huge for UAC 2. That's a massive loss in DPS. And so it's fine when you're doing like Gauss PPC style poking with them. But, oh wow. Gauss PPCs coming out of Black Spikes now. They are not rolling any sort of DACA. They're actually going with poke deck. Let's see what 9STS is doing. Initial movement by those direwolves up top, but here comes those Gauss PPCs. They know what's happening now, and we got ourselves a firefight. Gauss PPC into UAC 2s. Looks like both direwolves have taken quite a bit of damage. These massive frames silhouette themselves. Very easy to hit, but they're tossing that damage downfield. 83% into Elysium in that Kodiak, mostly to the arm. But let's see the state of these direwolves. Left shoulder.
I do not like 9STS's chances trying to go against PPC Gauss with the UAC 2s here.
They've got the rest of their team approaching here, so they can start doing a little bit more of a power position. But at some point, these direwolves are going to have to stop
And those arms
trading.
are so low. I mean, the direwolf just is not equipped for this sort of combat in my mind.
These quick Gauss PPC peaks, they're able to hit these direwolves without even really aiming, to be perfectly honest. They're so huge. Not only that, but these summoners even are just massive frames in terms of silhouette. But
And the weapons are, again, low. I mean, hardpoint placement is a huge factor in what mech is, better than the other. And summoners and direwolf both have poor hardpoint placement.
with that said, they have been tossing some damage downfield. They must feel like they're trading well because they're sticking to the plan. They do have some shots in. How did those Jenners get hurt? They must have gotten shot at some point by these UX. But, we're looking at just spread damage across the board here. Kodiak 3 is pretty hurt, but nothing's open yet. They took an arm off a timber, but it's not an important one. So a lot of fire coming in from 9STS, but it's hitting everything and anything, but they're not getting accurate.
I wonder if
focus
they're
fire.
hoping for suppression fire, or what are they?
They are rolling
I'm
caps.
still not sure.
They are rolling caps right now, so I guess if they can keep their heads down, but they got a long fight. Very long fight. And,
Yeah.
With all these ballistics, you got to think they're going to run out of ammo soon. Like, get some ammo counts.
That would be the worst thing that could happen right now to 9th STS. Hanging around the 300s, 900s. Direwolf at 700.
Yeah,
obviously.
but with these
A lot of ammo.
UAC-2s, they're firing multiple
of
shells
300
per
counts.
trigger pull. They're going to get very low on ammunition soon, and they just have not been putting the damage downfield for Black Spikes.
No,
I think
a lot more than they're putting out.
To be perfectly honest, I mean, this entire series has been, in my opinion, a mech lab fail. I just don't think UAC-2s in these mechs can do it. Now, the Hunchback 2s, they have the benefit of having this super high mount, so they can be very efficient with the stuff they throw downfield. They can also change up their engines, unlike the Direwolf. They can fit more ammunition or whatever they want to do.
And these mechs are terribly damaged right now for 9th STS. I mean, they've taken a pounding.
But the Direwolf and the Summoner, just massive silhouettes, able to get hit no matter when they peak or where they peak. Low arms, not efficiently being able to use these weapons. I just do not like the UAC-2s on such heavy mechs like this.
I'd rather see PPC Gauss out of these Direwolves. Frankly, I'd rather not see Direwolves at all. There goes the first one down. Second one's barely hanging on by a thread at this point.
So 9STS does have a 3 cap right now, so they are buying themselves some time. But you got to think they're getting even worse on their ammunition situation right now. Can they roll a 3 cap reliably? It looks like there's a cap going on at Epsilon, but that Jenner 2CA is bailing out. They sent their cheetahs over to try and handle it. Do you think 9STS can hold out long enough to win on 3 caps?
I don't think their mechs can hold out long enough, let alone their ammunition.
They just haven't really got anything left. Daymir taking some very tight peaks, still pretty fresh at 87%, but like I said, the ammo is going to be an issue. You can tell they're starting to slow down their fire. I think they're realizing it, but Black Spikes, now that the shots have slowed way down,
And there's another Hunchback down.
They're starting to get more aggressive. They're starting to push up, and I think we're going to see this come to a very swift close very quickly here.
Hunchback trying to
Is it
cross
just
over.
me, or is that... Oh, it's a Hunchback with LPL. Okay, I thought that was a cheat. Damir, the freshest of the bunch, taking point, but they're getting pounded from the backside by Overwatch and Underwatch. And yeah, we're seeing this go quickly to a close for 9STS. So Black Spikes taking it 2-0 in an 8 to potentially 8-0 victory in Drop 2.
Yeah, really just to be honest, completely questionable strategy by 9th STS. Not really sure what the intent was.
But gotta give him props for being unconventional. I mean, if this would have worked,
Certainly had us guessing.
Perhaps it could have been a new meta if it would have worked. But I think Black Spike's really showing us why these mechs that are in use have been in use so much. They are the meta right now for a reason, and I think we got a really solid demonstration as to why that is. When you've got teams that are, I would consider Black Spikes and 9SWS to be very equal in skill level, and when you put mechs, two different styles of mechs into the hands of very equal skill level
9th
pilots.
STS beat Black Spikes in the qualifying rounds.
Absolutely.
That's why they were the higher seed.
So when you put two equal pilots into two different mechs and you compare them against each other, you start to get trends as to what mechs are better, and I think we got a very good example of that here. Last one left is the Arctic Cheetah. Just trying to, I guess, buy himself some time.
Yeah, I think he's trying to buy some time for the caps, but there's no chance at this point. Unfortunately, too many mechs remaining on the field, to say the least. Caps are falling one by one. They've only got one cap remaining. It's I guess you know, you gotta give him props for trying something new, but not a great performance today by 9th STS in this opening rounds of the regional.
Well, we should be able to see them again.
A double elimination. Yeah, we will see them again. Oh God, that is the topper on 9th STS's day so far.
Well, they're going to have a little bit of time to talk about it because the next match coming up here is going to be against Eon Synergy, the team that I believe is favored to win the region, just purely based on the fact that they were nearly undefeated in the qualifiers and took the first place seed. So we're going to be seeing them facing BSMC. So the loser of match 1 is 9STS, and Black Spikes moves up to fight Eon Synergy. So let's take a look at the damages, I guess. Just there is a huge discrepancy in the damage here. 500s, 300s, 400s for BSMC, but only pulling 175 from the Hunchback, 217, 229. The highest being that Summoner, who is so fresh, 396 or 379, was doing a very good job putting the damage downfield and keeping his mech safe, even though it was a Summoner. Just must have had a really good poke spot or something, but goes down hard. All right, so I'm going to put the bracket up, and I'm going to take a quick bio while we get the next teams set up and ready to go. So I'm going to put the bracket up, put some music up. Stick around. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. We've gone through 2 entire matches so far, and we're getting ever closer to that grand finals and the trip to Vancouver. So we'll have to see who comes out on top. So here we go. Heading to the bracket. See you in a bit.